the only people that should start with wholesaling is usually people that start the way I started. No capital. I didn't have the money. I do have the time, so I can put the sweat equity, but I don't have the money to start buying deals or those type of
Okay.
things. That's how you start wholesaling. So wholesaling allow you to build the capital, and then at some point you start buying. If you really build your network, you actually need none of that money anyway, regardless.
Okay.
Right now, are you starting with no capital? Is that
Yeah.
okay? If you start with no capital, then wholesaling is great because it allows
Okay.
you to build quick capital. Now you live in New York. New York sucks. I'm sorry, like
I
it
know.
literally sucks. Okay.
I get it. I get
All
it.
right.
No hard
So
feelings.
it's a little bit harder to New York is more for the commercial broker is brutal. And most people that actually invest in states like New York, their strategy is when you buy a property in New York, depending the area, you can buy a property today that is worth $800,000. And in 5 years, that property is worth 1 million or 1.5. The
Okay.
appreciation is great in New York, but there is no cash flow. So people buy in New York for appreciation purposes,
Okay.
but they don't have cash flow. My private lender, he's a full-time he's in the medical field basically. I forgot how you call him, but he's in the medical field. And so when he buys a property, he's okay breaking even every single month. So let's say he buys a property at $800,000 and his monthly payment is $2,500. Even if his tenants is only paying him 2,500, he's breaking even, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't care, but because he's shooting for the appreciation.
Okay. I see.
But here's the thing, he has enough money to where if the toilet breaks, if something goes wrong, he has the money to fix it, and he's not counting on the monthly cash flow to fix that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So he
That
can
makes
hold on to this property for 10 years or whatever. He's a high earner, right? So that's New York. And then you have the Jewish community that have a lot of money. So they
yeah.
go and overbid. Like a house can cost $800,000 at the auction. People will overbid and buy it at 1.3 million as is. Literally. Okay, so it's a different ball game. Not saying it's not possible. It's just take a lot of like you're gonna have to like right now you're doing the right thing. You're interning. That's great because if you learn that game is that's a whole nother business model. By the way, is a business model, right? But that can be a tool in your toolbox too that you can use in any other state anyway. With everything you're doing, do you have time to sit down and make actual calls, whether it be realtors or sellers?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Because your money is on the phones.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, in the real estate. Now you have to pick a market. I would forget about New York when it comes to wholesaling. If I was
Okay.
you, you should be in Atlanta. That's number one. Number two, you should be in Texas. Number three, you should be in Florida. Number four, you should be in the Carolinas.
Okay.
Now, because you're just starting out, I would start with one to build momentum. I would start with this market specifically. This
Okay.
market is shifting, specifically this market. Interest rates are super high. Most properties are not selling. Right now, your bread and butter on this market will be agent outreach,
Okay.
calling realtors and trying to help them with listings that are not selling, obviously buying it from them. Now, the market I would focus on with this economy right now we're in is Texas.
Texas. Okay.
Yes, I would start with Texas and only do Texas until I get my first deal. I would literally do not do any other market. And I'll give you the 4 areas you need to be in Texas. You want to be in San Antonio. Those are the counties. You want to be in DFW. You want to be in Houston, and you want to be in Austin. So my team is in that market. We have about I don't know how many contracts right now in Texas.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of my acquisitions is doing agent outreach in these 4 markets, but they have experience, so they know how to. But if you don't have experience, it's better to focus on one first. Get good at talking to agents, generate momentum. Create momentum, lock up your first deal. And Texas is hot market anyway, and it's easy to sell the deals as well because these investors are super active, and you have way more choice in terms of the strategy. Mhm.
So I'm just confused on how it would be like virtual. I would just because I'm not there. So could you explain that a
Yeah.
little bit?
A lot of people get confused with that because they think they have
Yeah.
to see the property, they have to like, touch it or walk it or do whatever. But the reality is real estate works the same in every market. There is a acquisition strategy. You have to get it at a certain price, or if you learn creative finance, you get it with certain terms. Okay, and
Yes.
we'll go over that as you show up on the VO. I can train you. My team will be here to help out. So you learn, because you cannot learn all this thing in one day. Okay. There is the acquisition strategy, and then there is the exit strategy. The exit strategy is once you have it under contract, the exit is either you wholesale it, you just sell the contract. Obviously, you know what wholesaling means, right?
Yeah.
If it's a creative deal, you take it down and you hold it as a rental or Airbnb or, midterm, whatever the exit is. Okay. You don't need to be, number one, the title companies don't need you local to sign any documents. They will
Okay.
send a notary to you, to your house.
Okay, that's interesting.
Right. Like right now, I'm in Fayetteville and I've closed the subject to in Atlanta. The notary came to me here. I was having my coffee literally on my table here. The second thing that you need is this. Everything is virtual now. Okay. So the title companies, they will send you a notary. You know what a notary is, right?
I mean, I've heard of it. Like
So a mobile notary is somebody licensed
okay.
that will come to you, will ask you your ID and whatnot, and you'll sign in front of them, and then they will notarize the documents.
Okay.
Literally, it's just a person that the title company pays to come to you. So
Okay.
they will call you and say, hey, what time do you want me to be? Like literally this tomorrow. I have a closing in Illinois on a house I will never seen. I'm not interested in seeing.
Wow.
And we're turning into a midterm rental. I've never been to Illinois. I don't even know what Illinois look like. But I can sit down on my computer and look at the numbers on the property.
Yeah.
And determine, right? Because it's all about, hey, knowing how to comp. So you have multiple services to do the comparables, right? Look at the value of the properties. I can go on the map and see what is around the property. I don't need to take a flight. I can see if there is hospitals. I can see, all I need is Google. Google is my best friend, right? The third thing that you need, so on top of, you have the title company, they don't need you to come. They have the resources. Number two, you have Google, you have the internet to research, to do your research, right?
Okay.
And all the other platforms to like compare the property and see all that fun stuff. Number three, what you need is a network, like the property in Atlanta, the property in Indiana, in Illinois, my bad, the property we're doing in Texas. Guess what? I sent people over to walk the property for me, send me pictures and videos, tell me what is wrong with it, what we need to do. They're my friends. I built a network.
Okay.
And so those people now, like for example, you're in the which is where I was, by the way, before I joined Sub2. I was in the Free Creative Finance Group. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But guess what? I network with people that post there. And so some of them became my buddies. Like we'll hop on Zoom. We'll do the same way. If you come to the Zoom, the virtual office, you shouldn't just sit there and have a nice background, which is, it's a nice background, but should be talking to people, introducing yourself.
Okay.
You talk to people 3, 4, 5 days. Now they know you. They know who you are. They know you're in New York. If you ever need something, let's say you talk to David, which is one of my acquisition, and he lives in Atlanta. Now you guys are acquainted, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you have a deal in Atlanta, you go, hey, David, do you know anybody that can go to this area and walk it for me? What do you think he will do? I don't live far. I'll go see it for you. I'll send you pictures, right? Yeah. That's exactly how it works. So have you ever heard the term, your network is your net worth?
Yes.
It is absolutely true. And so I would focus on just making friends in all the states. So if I'm focusing on Texas, guess what? I want a lot of friends in Texas.
Okay.
Investor friends, people that are actively doing what I'm doing, because those will be your partners, your future JV partners, people you can leverage. People can refer you to a contractor. People can refer you to a realtor. So I don't need to go see any property. I find a property. We had a property in like the property in Illinois is my first deal in Illinois. I've never done deals in Illinois. It's not my market. It just landed on our lap. But the deal is good. We're going to turn it into a midterm rental. We're buying it on seller finance. So we're interested in keeping it. And so guess what I did? I called a friend of mine that is doing deals in Illinois. He went and walked for me the property. That's number one. Number two, he referred me to a title company. I didn't even have a title company in Illinois. Same thing I'm doing in Texas. I'm not in Texas. I don't plan on flying in Texas and seeing any property. You can sit on your couch, have that nice background, and do deals all day long and never move. Even if you don't have the network, there's a way to find a network. I've done deals when I first started in markets where I didn't have any network. I never go see the property. What I did was I used to go on Zillow and I would Google properties that sold in that area, and I'll find an agent that sold at least 2 to 3 properties, and I will call the agent and go, hey, I'm working on this property. I won't tell them I'm wholesaling it, because most agents hate wholesalers. But I will tell them, for example, hey, I have this property right here. We're looking to buy it, and I need somebody to take pictures for me. And then when we renovate it, I'm going to give you the list. And guess what they do? They go walk the property for me. tell me about the neighborhood, send
Wow.
me pictures and videos. And I do pay them for their time, by the way. You always want to pay people.
Oh,
for
okay.
that. And if I end up renovating it, I do keep my word. If they're a good person, I keep my word. I do give them the house to list it. Or what I do is if I wholesale it to a buyer, I ask the buyer, hey, do you already have a realtor? You don't? Okay, I know a great realtor. So I connect them. So because that's how you build a network. You got to bring value to people. It's not just a one-way street, right? So you can wholesale properties nationwide. When I say nationwide, nationwide. Yeah, so you can be there, wholesale properties all day long,
Okay.
make money monthly without ever moving. All you need to learn, don't even overthink it. There's a piece of paper.
Okay.
And if you're from New York, I'm assuming you're not an Android girl.
No.
Okay, so all you need is an iPhone and make the dials. That's all you need. If you can have, honestly, I don't know with whatever else you have, if you can, but if you can have 30 conversations a day, I promise you can get your first deal in the next month. If you can't, try to have at least 20 conversations a day. Like if you find a house right now, you're like, shit, I don't know how to comp. You don't need to know how to comp. I don't know how to comp. I go to somebody that knows how to comp and comp it for me. I don't need to know how to comp. Okay, that's what a VO is for too. It's like there's people there that have skills that you don't have, and they'll help out. So real estate is not something you can do alone. You have to partner up with people and just focus on talking to people, and then forget about the mechanics. The mechanics is I need a CRM. The mechanics is I need to know what to say. The mechanics is I need a fancy dialer. Those are all mechanics. The way you make money is dial the freaking number. That's it.
Okay.
And dial it till you have a dialer. Okay, don't overthink it. I'm telling you. Everybody is the dummies that are making money in real estate. The overthinkers, they're still building websites. Any questions?
No, I think you covered most of them.
Awesome.
Thank you.